Hey, we're live. We're up. Probably our fastest startup ever. Hi, Mom. Hi, Tara.
What up, peeps?
Yeah. Jesus is here. He's just off screen. So, yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays and all that.
You broke the illusion.
It's the best way to do it. When they're not prepared for the illusion to break.
Yeah. Just surrounded by wonderful spirit of Christmas here. Hi, everyone.
You know what's funny? Is they asked me if I wanted to be Santa at the store, and I laughed.
They really wanted you to be Santa?
Yeah, I laughed.
That's crazy.
I stared at them, laughed, and then walked away and went back to what I was doing.
I wouldn't trust you in the role of Santa, but that's not here nor there. So,
Can I sit on your lap?
The only people that are allowed to sit on my lap are
please stop.
muscular mommies and goth mommies.
We gotta cut the mic sometimes, man.
We should make a button for that.
I have a button for that.
He does.
Jesus emergency button.
The Jesus button.
You're just thinking I won't press it. That was good.
Anyway, though. But, yeah, no. It is kind of funny that the holiday actually falls on a Wednesday, which is when we do the show. You know? And next week is New Year's. Also going to be on the show. I never thought about it, but New Year's is 7 days away from Christmas. Yeah. Anyway, though. Now, so, we've spent most of the day today forcing ourselves to watch Christmas horror movies because, like I said, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And it's really weird because it feels kind of like there was a golden age of... Oh, my Christmas presents for my mom are in El Paso right now. But, speaking of those, actually, my dear brother Sean, his gift got here.
It's because I'm the favorite child.
Yeah,
No, I
sure.
can believe that.
It's a mimic.
It's got teeth. It's got a...
I
If you want to zoom in, Bishop. If you want to zoom in, Bishop.
You make me do work. Nice. Okay, make me do work.
You,
hide it.
it was on screen.
Oh, there's Jesus.
And of
Zoom
course,
in on Jesus.
These were made by...
What's
the,
up, peeps? You know, I should have worn my Kirby hat if that was going to happen.
Anyway.
These were, of course, made by the Black Lily. Plug. Put a link somewhere, maybe.
It'd be nice if I was actually given that for the show.
Black Lily 1313
we
at
couldn't-
gmail.com.
We can't link it to her because she does through Facebook and YouTube doesn't like Facebook.
Yeah.
We've tried it before. But
It was made custom order and includes lots of cool things. There's a
Dungeons
bunch
and
of mini dice in it.
yeah, dice, Dungeons and Dragon themed.
That actually was a cool dice.
That is actually, yeah. The little pocket watch. Now, is she going to be making more of these
Oh, that's
and
tight.
selling them? Because,
It is made on commission and
Mm.
personalized.
okay.
It's full of mini dice if you ever forget to bring a dice set on you.
I, as a DM, would hate you if you actually tried to play a game of D&D with dice that are that tiny.
I would
In
be
an
happy, and I would
emergency,
give
though.
you a bonus.
I would.
Like your first 5 rolls.
Yeah, like what if you're a gnome or a little guy?
In this group, you were going to die.
What if you're a dwarf or a halfling?
Those are not the same thing. But anyway. So yeah. As always, you can find the Black Willy over on Facebook or Meta or whatever the hell it's called nowadays. She also
Fucking lizard robot bitch.
she also attends various swap meets and flea markets and stuff like that. So hopefully you can find her. But yeah, really, actually, she does really make cool, very boxes. Well, we gotten a lot from her. But anyway, as I was saying, the horror Christmas movie is kind of unique, and a lot of people would agree it really is its own genre altogether.
I don't honestly think any out of like horror movies based on on holidays, Christmas ones tend to be the better ones. Except for Halloween.
Yeah, I was gonna say obviously Halloween horror movies are gonna be the best.
It's like Halloween, then Christmas, and then everything else can go fuck off. The worst ones are the Thanksgiving ones.
Oh, yeah. People are trying to make Thanksgiving horror movies into a genre.
It's terrible.
But anyway,
They're funny, but they're terrible.
most of them aren't even funny. But as I was saying, now a lot of people try to attribute the trend of the Christmas horror movie to a specific film from 1974, the infamously redundant, in my opinion, Black Christmas. Which is funny because it tried so hard to be popular in America, but it actually was Canadian. Real quick, for those
The
who aren't...
remake was terrible.
Of course it was.
So was the remake.
Oh, of course it was.
There was one made in 2019.
You don't have to remind me.
That's the one I'm talking about.
There was another one. It was like in 03 or
Look at it.
4, if I recall
And
correctly.
he had jaundice.
Anyway, though. Anyhow. Now, an interesting side note is actually in the 70s, there was a huge flood of Canadian films, especially horror, because at the time, in the 70s, Canada actually gave this huge tax rebate credit thing if you actually went and filmed there and you did business there. Very similar to what's going on today with England, I believe it is. The UK in general, I think.
Australia does it a lot too.
Yeah, Australia does it.
Yeah.
But Canada became like this sort of mecca for it. It was like any movie that was doomed to fail and they could never get the money up front for it, they'd go to Canada and bank on getting that tax return to compensate because they knew these movies weren't going to make any money. And what's interesting is that Black Christmas, as I said, it really is a big nothing burger in my opinion personally.
It's one of the first slashers.
Yes, it is one of the first slashers, and again, I want to say it might actually be the first specifically Christmas-themed horror movie. But it entirely tried to promote itself on a fake outrage campaign. No, its commercials literally opened with like, critics and theater audiences have been outraged and expressed disgust that such a violent, horrible movie would be made in association with the Christmas holiday. And then it's like nothing happens through the whole movie. It is literally a movie.
There's like maybe one visceral, memorable kill from that movie.
Yeah. And most of the movie is actually it's kind of funny to say this. So you know the openings to Scream movies where he's always calling somebody and messes with them? Picture that spread across about 90 minutes. Because that's basically what Black Christmas was. The whole idea was that the killer is constantly calling this sorority house, you know, taunting them and so on. And yeah, it's kind of just it is really a generic film. And the thing it's most memorable for is that it has the name Christmas in its title. And it kind of got caught, you know, with its hand in the cookie jar, claiming that there was outrage and fury. No one gave a damn about this movie.
Yeah, the movie sucked.
Oh, it was terrible. Even before they remade it 2 different times. So, it purported to have a budget of just under $700 million.
How much would that make back?
Or excuse me, $700,000 actually. I mean, this is dirt cheap, even in that time. Roughly speaking, worldwide, it made just under $4 million total. So it actually was a financial success, and a lot of people say it actually was because of foreign markets, which is ironic. So it was a movie made by Americans in Canada, and then it was the not America market that actually brought its money. But it did make money, but it became synonymous with nothing, with kind of propaganda.
I do want to say this. If you think Kristoff's being too harsh with the movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out the same year as this movie, worlds apart.
Wait, the first Chainsaw Massacre?
Yes, the original Tobe Hooper Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that's
One of
fucking-
my all-time favorite horror
That
movies.
is a classic.
Same year, and I think this one steals the title as the original slasher next to Leatherface, but Leatherface is right in line, and it was the better movie. So Leatherface,
See,
my OG forever.
well now hold on. You know so much about it. When did it come out?
I'll find it, man.
Oh God, because Black Christmas came out on October 11th in Canada, and it released everywhere else December 20th. So it's very possible that Texas Chainsaw was released before it, which would make it the first slasher. But anyway, yeah, no, it was one of a long line of Canadian tax credit haven films that kind of dominated the 70s, honestly, and then were completely forgotten about by the time that the early 80s were rolling around, and you had guys like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees running around kicking the crap out of everybody.
And as of today, Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu is in theaters in America today on Christmas.
Not a Christmas movie, though, unfortunately.
No, it's not. Although that would be hilarious. Anyhow.
Blah, blah, blah. Merry Christmas.
Blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah.
He says that in the movie.
blah, 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 blah.
He
Yeah,
totally-
the original Dracula. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He totally does, like dozens of times.
I called Willem Dafoe.
I want to suck your blood, blah.
Yeah. No, as you can guess, it was absolutely pile driven by critics. What's funny is it briefly did gain a pseudo cult classic status, and then they made a remake of it, and it tried to use the rage bait idea, but this was back in like 2003, before the outrage culture really became a thing.
Before the old times, Gandalf.
I was there. Yeah, no, for the longest time it only had like 40 some odd reviews on a lot of, like, people didn't even know to go back and say this movie was bad.
To be fair, horror has always been panned by critics. It's just
Yeah.
that
This is
old
true.
horror movie, unoriginal concept. It's just Crimbo in the movie.
Well, see, I almost kind of want to be sparing with it because it was early on in the pack. And I think it's kind of funny because, again, it usually, it's the follow-ups that are pale in comparison. But the thing is actually, no. This was like a very dry, rough cut, and almost immediately everybody else and their ugly sister came out with way better slasher movies. And it was completely forgotten. And be completely honest, I grew up in a household where we loved horror. We were always watching horror movies and talking about horror. Hi, Mr. Bishop. And I hadn't heard of Black Christmas until its first remake. Now, I found out today that they actually made another remake in 2019. And it's funny because I was mentioning it, and that's the one you two thought I was talking about, that one.
No, I knew you were talking about the original, because the original's the only one worth talking about. And the fact that it's old.
Yeah, it is kind of historic, but no, it's... I've heard some people argue that it was ahead of its time. Because, today we see it so much, especially on social media, about, outrage bait. I mean, and it kind of works, it kind of doesn't. But that's literally how they were planning to make their money back. And I guess, to be fair, it kind of worked.
They did a lot of funny things back then, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like we just said, one of my favorites. They said it was based on a true story. That's what the heaviest air quotes imaginable is, the atlas of lifting air quotes.
Yeah.
But it's like a damn good movie, so who cares?
Yeah. Now, what's funny is probably the most beloved, especially in modern times, Christmas horror movie is a sequel, and it came out a long time later, more than 10 years after this movie, after Black Christmas. We got the wonderful sequel that nobody thought to ask for, of course, the legendary Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Which, by the way, the first one, Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Oh my god, I remember that movie.
also tried to promote itself by claiming that it was, hated by critics. No, they literally like, oh yeah, no, critics hate us. They literally tried to get ahead of the wagon and be like, oh yeah, no, people are insulted by this movie. But the thing is that the sequel, which by the way is an actual sequel, it literally picks up at the end of the first one. So it is a true sequel in every form. But what's funny is that it grossly overscaled its predecessor. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is the more popular film. And in fact, a lot of people thought that it was, for a long time, thought it was the movie. Like, they didn't even realize, wait, there's actually a first one?
I could not tell you anything about the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, other than it had a killer Santa Claus, and like every movie has a killer Santa Claus these days.
I know, Santa, it's funny, we've grown as a society.
I still love him.
Oh yeah, no.
Santa Claus, low diff.
Sure thing, kid.
Pile driver.
Anyway, but no, a lot of people really did think for a while that Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 was a fake name to make people think, oh shit, it's a sequel, I gotta go see it. No, there was a first one. It's just that it pales in comparison. And we owe it all to the phenomenal, horrifyingly underappreciated,
Garbage Day.
wonderful acting talent of Eric Freeman. And we need to talk about this guy because, let's be completely honest. Yeah. I hope they actually heard that. Anyway.
Heard what?
Anyway, so here's the funny thing. Everybody loved his performance. Like, no. That's not entirely true.
That movie was filled with so many bad quotes, though.
It was, but here's the thing.
But
Naughty. Well, see, to be fair, the randomly saying naughty was a reference to the first movie because the first Santa killer, he would mutter that. But what's interesting about Silent Night, Deadly Night, it was made by Lee Harry. When I say it was made by Lee Harry, that's because he was the director, the producer, the supervisor, the writer. He basically made this movie with the help of like 5 friends. He did everything in this thing. There's just one problem. And I'm sure somebody on the internet is going to hear this and be like furious at me, but I'm going to say it anyway. He wasn't really good at directing, producing, writing, and doing everything in a theater. No, both films, both 1 and 2 of Silent Night, Deadly Night, a lot of the cast complained that he would give them no direction at all. The whole naughty line, that was something that they made up themselves because he was like, well, you think you're Santa and you need to punish people because they get on the naughty list. Naughty. So the killer is just like, naughty. But anyway, and this persisted to part 2, and Eric...
Really burying the lead here, where part 2 is 50%.
I would disagree with that. So, okay, I'll explain this. Something that did apparently infuriate critics, but a lot of fans have actually found a lot of humor in, is the fact that, the first act of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is literally a highlight reel of part 1. Literally, it's just all the kill scenes.
Yeah, I forgot they did that.
Yeah, and it really isn't until the middle of the film that they finally get to talking about the character that Eric plays. Ricky, I believe they call him, off the top of my head. He plays Ricky, or Richard. Anyway, and poor Eric. He was not a film star. He was not a movie star. He had looking at his accolades and record, he just did movies. Not movies, he did just TV shows. And the saddest part is a lot of his roles were uncredited.
So he did Silent Night, Deadly Night, Next Stop Christmas, Murder Weapon, Risky Tuesday, A Husband for Christmas. Did a bunch of random ass shit is what he did.
Yeah, he just did random little bit pieces on
That's what you
TV
had to do in
shows.
the 80s when
Nothing
you
in
were
common.
famous.
Nothing in common.
TV show. In Living Color, he was in 2 episodes of In Living Color. He was in Twilight Zone, the original black and white Twilight Zone, actually. Most people don't realize this, but yeah. But he had never been in a movie. And so he was completely lost as far as, like, being on stage. And he looked to Lee for direction, you know. And the only direction that Lee would give him was, "You're crazy. You're crazy." That's 2 words. 2 words were supposed to direct this poor man who was very young, completely out of his element, had no idea what he was doing. And apparently it got to him because he just was like, well, no one else cares. Why am I putting the effort in? And he gave the most wonderful, cheesy performance. Probably, I would say, honestly, he was up there with Adam West. Like, so wonderful.
Does that mean he improv'd the garbage day line?
Yes, that was improv.
That's incredible.
He was told, "You're just going down the street shooting at people," and everyone else in the scene, all the extras, were like, "It's just your normal day," you know. And one of the guys was like, "Well, what do you do on your normal days?" "You take out the trash. You put the trash on the curb for the garbage man to pick up." And so he just sees this poor schmuck carrying the trash can out, and he just shouts at the top of his lungs, "Garbage day!"
Hey man, if you're not given proper direction, you're told just go out and go do your thing. Go do your thing. Make it fucking hilarious at that fucking point.
Yeah, well,
Garbage day.
yeah. And to be fair, there's plenty to mock and make fun of with this movie. Like Jesus said, off in the void, there are plenty of great lines. Infamously, actually, Choopy. Anyway, so in the first movie, there's Sister Superior, Mother Superior, who runs the orphanage that they all live in. As you can guess, being a nun in a movie, she's abusive and violent and yada yada yada. Here's the problem. While they were filming the sequel, the lady decided she didn't want to be in the movie anymore. So they had to get another actress and cover her up with this like disfigured face makeup. And they explained it. Well, she had a stroke and fell.
It looked like an acid attack, but I couldn't tell it was a different actress.
Yes. They did good with the makeup. But anyway. And apparently, supposedly there were different ideas. The problem is that they couldn't shoot a scene with the original actress to explain the face, so they have to just blurt it out real fast. One line: she hasn't really been active since she had her stroke and fell. And then, like, literally the next scene, you see her looking like Quasimodo. Yeah, it's like, that's not what a stroke does. But they had to make it work because, again, the thing about these films made with with a Canadian tax credit, there was no backseas on this. If you're getting a tax credit from the Canadian government, you're going to do this project that the Canadian government essentially is paying for. So they had to do it. They had to make it work somehow. And as you can imagine, as with most movies, especially horror, critics didn't like it. They were furious that the first act is basically a highlight reel of all the murder scenes from the first movie. Of course, they did not appreciate the incredible, insane acting of Eric, who actually, it's kind of sad, he went down a very dark road after this movie. He did a few more TV appearances, but as far as I could tell, he didn't do any movies. Um, it wasn't until like 2016 actually when people basically were able to rediscover him because people saw the movie, and it was that specific scene. It was Garbage Day. Garbage Day made people fall in love with him. And there was an actual like manhunt looking for this guy because it's like, well, who is he? What else has he done? He was in 2 episodes of Twilight Zone, in Living Color. That's a pattern I noticed. A lot of his TV roles, he only appeared twice. It's weird. The number 2 follows this poor man around. But no, he thought that his career was blown and ruined, very depressed, and he just finds out that, yeah, on social media there is this cabal of streamers and movie reviewers and horror fans who are desperately looking for Eric Friedman. We need to find Eric Friedman. We need to save him. Because there were rumors and stories that he had actually, deleted himself, canceled his subscription to Life magazine, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And it was bad. Like, people were sincerely worried about him. There were people, of course, there were some more ghoulish people who were like, oh, I found his grave. He's here. He's buried here. And he was completely blown away because he didn't realize that he had become a legend of B movies, and there were people who cosplayed as him, going to conventions just doing that scene, the Garbage Day.
Garbage Day.
Apparently, there's a third one.
There's like 5.
There was a documentary where he played himself. Actually,
He's only in the second one, right?
there was a documentary made actually, much more recently.
Yeah, Saturday Night, Deadly Night 3, better watch out.
Let's see here. Hold on, here it is.
I think he was in that one too.
Ricky Today, the Cadwell interview was a spoof movie made, and basically he played himself, and it was like a mockumentary about the filming of Silent Night, Deadly Night. But yeah, I don't know if he was in the third. I don't think he was. He's not credited as being in the third one. It's not on his.
I think it might have been the killer from the first one.
His older brother who gets annihilated.
Yeah, because I think the third one was the dude who was a killer. Like, he had you could see his brain. He just had a plastic shell over it, and you could see his brain. So there was like.
That rings a bell, but. Yeah, no, Ricky.
And the protagonist was like the main character was a female. I just hardly remember it all that much. I know there was a third one.
Yeah, but it doesn't appear on his filmography, so. Ooh.
I'm gonna tell your dad on you.
Excuse me. Anyway. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's
You
all.
started it.
I will turn this desert around.
And the fourth one was
Started
like even
what?
weirder.
And there's like bugs and robots.
Yeah, it was like there was like a giant cockroach and shit inside of it. Like it was just weird.
Anyway, as I was saying though, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Yes, there were sequels, but none of them had Eric in them, and because of that, they really were not as memorable. It was really Eric's performance that made that movie so wonderful. And it's one of those examples of like the internet actually did something good, because again, we almost did lose him. He really thought that he had just boned up his career. And I want to point out, he wasn't rediscovered until like the 2010s. Like, it took a long time to actually for this fan base to find him.
Garbage Day.
Yeah. No, there's merchandise of that. People love Eric Freeman. And now, in a funny twist, now he doesn't have to work for shit ever again. He just freaking does conventions and tours where, guess what? He literally just signs autographs and does that line with people. If I'm not mistaken, and this is kind of a ghost story of the internet, because Joe Bob Briggs on The Last Drive-In played Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And supposedly, they wanted to do a skit where he would be the guy holding the garbage in that scene, and someone else would shoot him and shout "Garbage Day." But I guess it didn't happen for some reason. Which would have been hilarious, because when Joe Bob hosted the first one, him and his co-host Darcy, the male girl, recreated the famous scene where the girl gets impaled on deer antlers. So they wanted to do the Garbage Day scene, but I guess either they just decided not to do it, or it couldn't happen, or what. But yeah, that's a weird ghost story for you. Now I'm going to actually put a question to our wonderful panel here. If you were Eric, would you shoot a scene reversing the roles and have you be the guy that gets shot, or would you, or is like, no, Ricky is his role, he's the guy who shoots, you know?
I would do it, but I would be the guy getting shot out being after I get shot, like not yelling, but like "Garbage Day."
Oh, that was such a funny line.
I mean, like, definitely now I'd be willing, but like that was like his worst role ever. Like you said, it was like a living nightmare for him.
It was.
But like now that, you know, the world loves him,
hindsight
is infinitely
Hindsight's
rich.
a bitch.
Hindsight is, yeah. Well, hindsight is a bitch.
I'd do anything for the fans.
Good catch. Droopy. Anyway, though. You know, Droopy, how about you just sit here with me for a little while? Anyway, you can't see it, but the bishop is trying to make me laugh. Anyhow, but yeah, no, I actually do sincerely like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I'm going to be honest, I don't really like Black Christmas. Even the first Silent Night, Deadly Night is not bad. I mean, obviously...
They work... The one... For the first one and the second one, and the third one, it was great, because they followed the story. The third one went a little weird, but after that, it just went fucking...
Jason X.
No. It, like, I feel like they did a little... Like, Halloween was supposed to be a trilogy of different horror stories.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they were trying to do, but like Christmassy. And they failed epically. But it still happened.
Well, see, you know, it's one of those things.
Before
my mom would be shot, but it depends on how much they pay her for. How much does it cost to get you to shoot you?
I need terrified. Just set me on fire. I run off the left.
All right, there.
Before we end the bit, though, I want to talk about my favorite scene. They're sitting in a movie theater, and he's with his girlfriend, and they're being harassed by moviegoers, and like it kind of like doesn't matter because you know they're setting up for him to kill him. But when he finally does sit down and watch the movie that they're watching is about a killer Santa Claus. As like obviously the whole plot is that he was traumatized by a killer Santa Claus. So Ricky, first of all, did not know what movie he was watching and agreed to do whatever his girl wanted. Second of all, the ultimate MacGuffin.
I can answer that first one. He's a simp.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he just sat down and was like, yeah, let's just watch this. What the hell? It's Killer Santa Claus? This is my backstory? And it got me every time. It's like the Scream Stab parody, but unironic.
You know, part of me almost wants them to just make Stab, actually. Like, sincerely make Stab.
Well, you know, the problem is it'd be a better movie than Scream 6 or whatever.
Oh, God. Scream 5, 6, and 7, which is totally still going to happen.
Down in front, sucky.
Choopy. Choopy. Down, Choopy. Down. Thank you, Choopy.
I don't know. I think Chucky's doing better now. It's no longer movie. It kind of turned into a TV show.
It got
Which
canceled.
That's horrible because it was making more sense as a fucking
It was
TV
a really
show.
good TV series, and it cared about all the lore, and then it got canceled, and then the people in the show found out that it got canceled.
Which is fucking retarded shit.
Yeah.
Choopy.
Troopy. Down in front, little sucky.
Choopy, attack!
Whose side are you on? Gonna
I
concuss him.
think Choopy meant to aim in a different direction, but as soon as he hit in the air, he realized his aerodynamics weren't that well.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
I think she is. Poor thing.
It's not fair. Bishop's hiding with all the expensive technology.
He doesn't attack me.
He
I'm his
will
friend.
once you're off screen.
Oh, well, yeah.
Garbage day.
What?
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Anyway.
Not prancing.
Anyway.
When did this one show up here?
Last week.
He was found in a claw machine.
Just adopting random ass animals now?
Pretty much.
Well, shit. How do you think you got in here?
I broke in and you guys never called the cops to get me out.
It's true.
Never?
Never?
Yeah, it's too late for that shit now. I got squatter rights.
No.
Oh, we'll whoop a squatter.
Anyway. But, yeah, no, and there's...
Oh, that's creepy.
That is weird. Sit down, Prancer.
I'm no longer Pouncer. I am the knight.
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Anyway. But no, there was this whole genre of Christmas slasher movies, and most people will tell you it's either because of Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Which, again, a lot of people completely overlook the first one, which is it's a fine movie. There's nothing really wrong or bad
It's
about
a good B movie.
It's okay. It's just, it's hard to compare to Freeman. It really is. That's the funny part too, is like, I really do like that movie. I can remember the actor's name better than the character, and that's weird because usually it's the other way around. But no, the problem is that at its core, the Christmas horror movie, mostly because of Black Christmas, a lot of people when they make their Christmas horror movies, they go in with this idea that it's supposed to be controversial, which I think is hilarious. Because it's like, have you seen half the stuff we've done in horror movies? There really is no such thing as controversial anymore. Nowadays, the harder you try, just comes off being quaint half the time.
Look at the Exorcist movies. They used to be controversial. They used to be,
Yeah.
pushing the boundary and whatnot. But nowadays, it's oh look, they're possessed.
Yeah. See, that's
Look, Jello baby.
They make like 10 Exorcist films a year now.
Now,
or movies with the word exorcist in the title.
yeah. Now, the last Exorcist movie I saw was the sequel to The Omen, because I consider that to be an Exorcist movie.
I thought you were talking about the movie The Last Exorcism.
No, God no. That one was terrible.
See?
But it like the Omen, the prequel to The Omen, like that one was actually well. No, like it was better than the fucking sixth one they made, but yeah.
It's rare, but they do make good movies sometimes, every now and then, occasionally.
Because again, they made a sequel to The Exorcist, like.
There were like 3 or 4
yeah.
sequels.
Well, I'm talking about the more modern one.
Oh, gee.
With the twins, that one was fucking terrible.
Yeah. But anyway, there was this weird mentality that if you're doing a Christmas horror movie, obviously you have to try and tell everyone how controversial you are. And then, a couple of guys, I can only assume, heavily under the influence of peppermint schnapps.
Peppermint schnapps. The devil drinks that shit. It'll make your brain bleed.
Is that true?
It made my brain bleed.
Oh, I think you should go to a doctor.
Specifically, we have to thank, I'm going to try and say this name correctly, Michael Cooney, Scott McDonald, and Christopher Allport for this one, because I can only assume after drinking heavy amounts of alcohol, they sat around at a poker table and all had the same idea at the same time. The obvious idea, if you're making a Christmas-themed horror movie that you want to be controversial.
Willem Dafoe plays an evil, possessed gingerbread man.
No! That came later.
Agent.
That came later.
Oh, damn it.
That one was later. No, I'm talking about, of course, the iconic, horribly timed 1997 Jack Frost.
And at the same time, Jack Frost, an actual fucking kids' Christmas movie, came out at the same time. It was fucking great.
Okay, so actually I can explain that. So actually, the horror movie Jack Frost was first.
My dad will know a lot about this because I love both movies. Both the horror one and the family one.
So Jack Frost, the horror movie, actually came out first. However, it was being released onto VHS and in blockbusters and rental houses at the same time that the kid movie Jack Frost was in theaters, and so there was a horrible miscommunication, especially because
I can vouch for that. Because I'm 100% sure when my mom was showing me that motherfucking movie,
she thought it was going to be the other one.
yeah.
How young were you?
I'd seen 90, 97.
I was 8 when it came out, and I seen it when it came out.
Old man alert.
Youngins.
I was around
Can't use a
5,
can
6, somewhere around there.
No, and you watched the horror one?
Yeah, man, like, I'm, like, just fucking... Like, I remember this some fucking now. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck?
Was she not with you? She just planted you in front of the TV and like walked away?
So, back in the day, we, around that time, we used to have roommates and whatnot, so we would all just chill, and my mom would chill with the roommates, and me being a fucking kid would go bug the shit out of everybody, and then anytime when someone would put something on the TV, I would go, dang. And yeah, and then, but yeah, I remember fucking, the scene I remember the most is, when he's melting through the door.
Oh, yeah.
He's melting himself through the door to get into the fucking bathroom.
Yeah, actually, we're going to talk about that for a second. Okay, so that horrible scene, which lives in infamy. So that scene actually has a couple, a couple stories behind it. One, so we'll just say it. At one point, Jack Frost forces himself upon a girl, a high schooler, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, she was actually a minor in the lore. The actress was was an adult, to be fair, so okay. But supposedly, the original idea for this scene was actually that he was going to melt, get into her bathwater, and then re-solidify and like smother her inside his snowy body. And that's not what they decided to. They decided to do it a whole different way.
Where he would suck her into his body.
And proceed to, Now, it should be pointed out that there was what was thought to be a continuity error. Because the prop snowman that they made to commence the boinking, and I've heard two stories of this. One story tells that they actually genuinely forgot his carrot nose. And they did the scene, and literally it was as they were filming, they were like, where's his nose?
He's a snowman.
See, I've always been bugged by that scene because he
moved it to a different location on the body.
that's the canonical explanation they made, but supposedly it was a legitimate mistake. And I've always personally been bugged by that scene because, okay, he melts into water, goes underneath the door. How did he get his coal eyes, nose, and his carrot nose underneath the door? Because those things don't melt.
Well, the whole thing with the movie was...
They were drunk as shit, I know, but...
Well, the dude was a serial killer, and he was being transported to, I think, a different prison or some shit. And there was a car accident, and he got doused in chemicals.
Oh, you got chemicals in my death row inmate. You got death row inmate in my chemicals.
Yeah, and then
he was atomized into the snow and became living snow.
The sequel makes no fucking sense.
He goes to like Hawaii or something.
Yes, he goes to...
He goes to Hawaii. It was so great. He like takes the scarf.
Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian.
It's decaffeinated coffee.
Yeah. No, but here's the funny... But anyway, back to my point. So immediately after the scene where he attacks the girl in the bathtub, they added a scene where he puts his nose back on his face. And it's argued whether or not they legitimately planned that from the beginning, or if they actually literally made this prop, set up the scene, started rolling, only to realize then that you literally forgot a part of his face.
I'm gonna go with that second one because it's a B-rated movie. I can see mistakes like that being done,
They didn't
and
know
then
how to make a mistake then.
them not being able to redo the whole fucking scene.
Yeah.
That's B-rated movie shit right there.
They would. They would have to do it like that. But anyhow.
Throw her. You know you want to.
Stop it.
You be nice to her.
All three of you. Anyway, though, but no. So they did make a sequel.
Just goes Hawaii.
The Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, which was released in 2000. But what if I told you it was supposed to be a trilogy?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Jack Frost 3. Jackzilla.
What the fuck?
This film was going to be made. It was going to be done. They wanted to do it where he turns into a literal snow kaiju and starts wrecking up Detroit, of all places.
They have shit in Michigan.
I know.
Tragically, Christopher Allport passed away in 2008, and his two buddies, McDonald and Cooney, they didn't feel it would be right to go on without him. And so Jackzilla never saw the light of day. It was never done. There are stories about how, well, there's concept art that exists and there's this and that, because they really didn't have anything ready. It's not like they were in production and they had to stop. They just always wanted to do it. But sadly, without their third member, they were like, yeah, no, it's...
Like if they would have had the script and everything ready, I could have seen them doing it, and then like doing it to like honor their friend that passed away. But if they had nothing ready, I can see them not doing it because it wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, I think that's deep down the big thing about it. But yeah, no, Jack Frost, depending on your opinion, and I would argue your alignment, it is either the worst timed film ever or the best timed film ever, because there's a kids movie called Jack Frost. Isn't it? What is it about? What is the kid movie about? It's about a guy who dies and possesses a snowman. Same plot, very different direction.
Also, look at the cover of the VHS or CD, whatever it was back in the day. I feel like
here, bro.
A discerning parent
Give me a minute. I'll send it to you.
should have the wherewithal to notice a difference. No, I'm not going to do it. I won't. Cast it into the fire.
So it's only made worse because of the fact that Jack Frost never had a theatrical release. It was direct to video. They wanted it to be put in theaters, but nobody wanted it because it was
I can't imagine why.
such a horrible idea. They had to put
I
it...
would put that shit in a movie theater.
Yeah, you would, but you also can't be trusted around heavy machinery and children.
Fuck you, I can be trusted around heavy machinery. I train everybody at a store.
That scares me
No
legitimately.
comment on the children.
Fuck them kids.
Anyway,
Here,
though.
I sent you a photo of the first one and the second, and the Jack Frost one and the kids one. If you want to plop it up on the fucking channel.
But yeah, no.
Should I?
I do kind of have to agree with you that the cover art of the videos should have been an indication, but I have a theory.
People are stupid. That's not.
Well, no, okay.
How's that?
Hear me out for a second.
Oh,
You,
the kids one.
that's the
That's the kids one, and the one before it is the actual Jack, the horror one.
the one that was used when they were in original VHS. Yeah, most people know the make from when it was released on DVD, which is not how it looked in original theaters.
If you want, I can send you a better one of the first one.
Now hold on, do we got it? Anyway, but I'm gonna keep talking while they work that out.
Should we throw these up?
I say yes.
I think we can get away with it for like, a few seconds. But anyway. Yeah, no. It got shot down. It wasn't even allowed they didn't even want it in theaters. So it took a while to actually get out. And unfortunately, because obviously you got to put a movie called Jack Frost in, on video around Christmas time, right?
Crimbo.
The same time that you would have to release a children's film. So hear me out. You are, picture for a second. It's 1998. You are a clerk at Blockbuster.
Clerk at Pepper.
You don't want to be there. Because, you're at work, so you're automatically in a bad mood. And some mother comes up to you and says she wants the Jack Frost movie. Are you going to pay attention? Or are you just going to go, oh, Jack Frost, okay. Because remember, the Blockbuster movies came in their own cases. So you didn't get the movie cover, So
Sorry.
there he is. Okay, so that's the kids' movie.
Yes, which is great. I saw this as a kid when I was 8.
Great's a bit strong, but it wasn't bad.
I mean, I liked it.
For 1998, it actually had decent effects. But okay, yeah, look at that.
This is the family-friendly one.
Look at this box cover. And this is the box cover.
My dad's gonna know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Can we get
He let me see both of them.
Can we get Frost, the other Jack Frost? Can we get them side by side? Because they're actually kind of similar. And this is totally a coincidence, by the way. Totally wasn't intentional. Because again, it's like a debate over like, this is the greatest timing in the history of cinema, or it's the worst. I'm not entirely sure where I stand in that one, because it's kind of funny, because I actually really liked the Jack Frost horror movie.
My favorite was how they killed him. It was stupid how they killed him. Air quotes.
Yeah, because they specifically state that he didn't actually die. He was going to come back. Now this one, that is the DVD cover. This was used when it was released on DVD.
So they're both Jack Frost. Jack Frost, the family one. Jack Frost, the cartoon snowman.
Yeah. They even actually gave it that title because apparently the folks who made the kid movie Jack Frost were not happy about this.
Now, I know being an 8-year-old and watching the horror movie, that probably does something to your brain, ruins your life irreversibly. But imagine being a horror
It was
buff
just a fun movie.
in like the 80s and you're so hyped to see the brand new B movie that just came out, and you watch a fucking kids movie.
Oh my God!
So fucking mad.
I have
It was
I
so
would be so
I get all my
pissed.
friends together, we get out our best 80s weed, and we're watching Jack Frost, the Kid Happy
90s.
Adventure.
90s.
My best 90s weed, and I'm like, oh.
He was.
Are they gonna kill all these kids, man? This movie's hardcore.
So the person on the right was born in 2003. I was 14. This came out before.
Yeah, these were both before your time. But no, I've got to give him credit here.
90s
That's an
weed.
That's an interesting perspective. Could you imagine that? You're a horror movie buff. You've told all your friends about this incredible indie film that was so bad they wouldn't even put it in theaters. Everyone thinks you're awesome, and you're just gonna rock this movie night,
And you're
and
having a horrible trip now because you picked the wrong fucking movie.
yeah. And so you
There
go.
goes your fucking cred at your school, man.
Oh, gee, yeah, no. Everyone thinks you are a laughing stock.
You watch kids movies are scary for you.
I bet you the best part is. So remember my scenario with the mother going to Blockbuster? Goes to the same Blockbuster as the horror guy. They get each other's movie.
I would
Blockbuster
I would
guy
be
eyeing
that
up
guy.
the horror guy. Yeah, this guy wants the kids movie. I bet he's a good father.
I would be that guy.
This
I
is
would give the
ugly.
mom the horror one, and I would give the dude who clearly wants to see the horror Jack Frost. I would give him the kids one.
Like, you just eye him up, like, yeah, I bet this guy's a real good father.
See, I'm gonna argue. I saw both of them when they came out as a kid, and I liked both of them. Because the horror one was like a killer snowman,
But
which
could
was
you
like
imagine
what
it?
I liked.
You gathered all
dude,
your
and
friends,
this is also
trauma
the time
posters
before,
on the
like,
wall.
Karens could fucking bitch and complain on on the internet and shit.
But barely. It was 1998. There was barely the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is before that time. So imagine if this came around now.
Yeah, but also the Jack Frost, the family movie one was, I think it was it's Michael Keaton. It was great too.
No. I mean,
it was
but we're talking about the mishap. Like
the mishap,
the Karens who don't pay attention because everything needs to go the way they want it. But instead of getting the kids one, they get the fucking horror one and they show it to the kids, and they just start renting online.
Well, what about the adults who wanted the horror one and got the kids one?
That's on them.
Oh, that's on them. The poor children, though.
I fully get it because the names were the same.
Yeah, I can see the fucking Karens just like going nuts on this shit.
Well, see, that's the thing is they kind of did. So
they were both so good though, but they were like
they were both cool. But if you're looking to watch Jack Frost the Kids movie, I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say that you're not in the mood for the other one, and vice versa.
Well, what if you just hear about how good the movie Jack Frost is, and you're like,
oh god,
Jack Frost.
Bro, no,
and
you're
a random one.
You're hyping this movie up to your kids. Jack Frost the Snowman. He's a mythical creature.
He has magical powers.
He helps out kids. He's a friendly dude. And you put that fucking shit on, and your kids are like, "What the fuck?" And you just go with it. This is what happens when you're naughty. This is the Jack Frost you get.
See, I will say,
I would be that dad.
Yeah, I know you would.
When I was a kid, I never had a confusion.
That's like how you get Zodiac killers, though, man.
Now, maybe my dad came.
Zodiac was never caught until a few years ago, so.
You know what? You're right.
Maybe my dad can
Might as
chime
well
in,
have a
but
word.
I never had a confusion between the two movies. There was the
Yeah.
family one, and then there was the horror one.
See, the funny thing is
and
that
they were both great.
See, the funny thing is that this confusion didn't happen until later, because
We got stupid
Jack.
kids now.
Yeah, well, no, because Jack Frost the Kids movie was in theaters. Jack Frost the horror movie was on VHS at Blockbuster. And so there was this brief time where it was like the guy behind the counter could warn you that that's not Jack Frost. But imagine about 2 or 3 months later when Jack Frost was on VHS, all hell broke loose.
That's the time I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, but what do you say? Who should have been humble? The horror movie one or the family one?
I think the second one that came out.
See, yeah, I have to defend the horror movie. The horror movie was made first. Now, but that goes back to
Jack Frost isn't a fucking trade name. It's a common.
He's a mythological creature from Germanic mythology.
No one can own that.
No,
Yeah.
you can't. Yeah, it'd be like if you said you can't make your movie called Santa Claus. The hell I can't. Santa Claus doesn't belong to anything.
My favorite Santa Claus movies are the ones with that one dude from Home Improvement.
Tim Allen,
Santa
Yeah.
Claus.
the Santa Claus.
Yeah. I haven't seen the show. They came out with the show. I haven't seen it yet, but
It didn't have Tim Allen, so do you need to?
no.
Anyway, but no, here's the interesting thing. The folks behind the kids movie
That was
actually, these guys, they actually went after our boy Michael Cooney, and so this is like lost media. There is a brief time frame where they re-released Jack Frost the horror movie as Jack Frost Mutant Killer Snowman, so that they could differentiate him, and that's why the sequel is called Jack Frost Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. It was kind of a nod to that ridiculousness. But yeah, no, and to be fair, the VHS version, it doesn't show that monster snowman that we showed on screen. The VHS one, it does show a normal snowman.
Yeah, it's the one I sent.
See, that's the DVD one. That was DVD. That was re-released like in 2007, I think it was.
It was the second photo I sent you.
That
No, when I was a kid, I remember having the VHS of that picture, and it was one of those holographic.
Yeah,
where
the
you,
one I
turn
sent you, that was the second one. That one.
See, that's the VHS that I recognize.
That's not what I recognize.
Yeah, but it was one of those ones where you could turn it.
and it would change.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
So that was-
And then he would be all scary. Now,
that was
interesting.
the first one. That was the one you would see, and when you would walk, like look at it at a different angle, it would be the scary one.
Yeah, but that was also considered the default image, and
See-
so that's what a lot of people saw in the movie store.
See, what I remember was the VHS, and it was like a holographic. It was
Yeah, and he would be at one angle. He'd be a normal snowman, but here's the thing: that little holographic card could actually be pulled out, and then you would just have the flat picture. And the flat picture was dramatic pause for effect.
dramatic pause for effect. Here it comes. Here it comes. There it is.
This was what you would see if you just looked at the box in Blockbuster. And to be fair, that doesn't look super different
The
from...
wording does.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has scary font on it.
Yeah, but you're just glancing at this picture. You're looking for a movie about a magic snowman.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, like I like there. I've done that on when I've ordered shit off like movies and shit off Amazon where.
So yeah, it turned from the one on the left and became the one on the right.
See, what I remember was a VHS cover, and it was like holographic, where like you turned it,
And
it
he
was,
became
like,
monstrous.
yeah, and it shifted from sort of a cute normal snowman to a horror.
I wouldn't
snowman.
call him cute.
I mean,
He looks pedophile.
See, I was going to say he looks mischievous. I don't think he looks that evil. Ow. Ow.
but
This poor guy's gonna have
Yeah,
a concussion.
I know I am.
he's like,
No, we gotta throw something harder.
But anyway,
2025 goal: give Kristoff a concussion.
again. Anyhow.
Nah, another panic attack. Don't you dare.
See, my sister's coming to the defense saying that she liked the Michael Keaton one. The kid one.
No, since we're talking about,
they were both so good though.
About
but they're,
Snowman.
like two different
Uh,
things.
here's a fun fact.
Oh dear.
Frosty the Snowman, the animated one from back in the day. The studio who animated that is based off in Japan. Therefore, that movie is a fucking anime. It's not a cartoon; it's an anime.
What about the sequel?
No one gives a fuck about it.
Being technically correct is better than being just correct.
Kinda. Technically.
Something's wrong with the bishop today.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I think
Fun.
he needs more boobs.
I always need
Make
more
sure to put him
boobs.
back in his cage after this.
Don't
Well,
say that
no
into
cage,
a live
no cage.
microphone.
And the spray and the taser.
No, like
Anyway, though, no, Jack Frost hit the lottery being released into VHS the same time that there was a kid movie, Jack Frost.
dude, imagine if both of them actually did make it to the movie theaters.
Well, it's like
Imagine the just like the.
I'm just gonna say this, and look, this is coming from someone who actually likes the Jack Frost horror movie. Putting that up against a family film with Michael effing Keaton,
No,
the
no,
horror
no,
movie
I
The
just-
wouldn't.
I
shitty B
completely-
movie would just be told, change your name or I'm gonna like shoot you 12 times in the head.
I
This is my
completely
name.
agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at this as because let's be honest, ads back in the day were more brutal and more fucking funny and better than the ones we
Yeah,
have
they'd
now.
have cool Jack
Imagine-
Frost kill Kid
yeah.
Jack Frost.
Imagine the ad fights between those two fucking movies.
It'd be Pepsi and Coke all over again.
That new Chucky movie that sucked, their ad campaign, he like killed Woody.
Yep,
remember
I
that?
remember that.
Too bad that movie sucked.
Yeah, talk about not being able to deliver. But
well, okay. There's the whole like Babylon 5 Deep Space Nine thing, which they don't have the same name, but they're the same show.
What are you talking about?
Nothing, youngin.
Exactly.
Quiet, quiet, quiet. Shh.
eh,
But the thing about Jack Frost is they have the same name, and they're kind of the same movie but different.
yeah, well, no, it's
it's
two
two
different,
different
actually.
genres.
it's two different genres, but the synopsis is the same. A man dies tragically and is, through mysterious means, resurrected as a snowman.
Period. And then he fucking kills people! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
So, because like Barry,
We're talking about a synopsis, okay? You have like 3 sentences.
you saw both of them growing up around the same time. I saw the horror one, and then I realized the other one existed until like later in life. So when I start watching that one, I'm assuming Because I had completely forgot about the horror one. Because that's the one I was looking for. And I started watching the fucking kids movie.
So you found the kids movie by accident?
And I was so disappointed. So fucking disappointed.
Must have been like, whoa, I was a fucked up kid.
See,
Oh, fuck no.
I
Well,
actually
like-
got to see both of them. Like, I don't remember which one I seen first. Probably the killer one. But I wish my dad would chime in because he would know because I watched both of them because he rented them from Hollywood Video for me.
Yeah.
And
Did
I
you
was
watch
like
them
8,
side
so-
by side? Like, did
No,
you?
but I knew both of them, and they're both great. I mean, as great as like the cheesy horror movie can be, and as great as the cheesy family movie can be, like I like both of them.
Okay, jokes aside, sincerely. Which snowman is scarier looking?
The one your mom made.
Oh, hey, that's my mother.
Yeah.
But you went,
Yeah.
whoa.
Guards, kill this
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You think we have
I'm
guards?
gonna be honest. I don't remember much of the kids one to give an honest answer.
It was a good family movie. It was
I'm
like
sure.
heartwarming. Like, oh, my dad died, but oh, he came back as a snowman. and
It's their
kinda-
dad? What if my
Yeah.
dad was the snowman? That's fucked up.
Basically, it's like
That's
his
really
dad
sad.
died, but he gets to come back on Christmas because he's a
Yeah.
snowman.
But your
so
dad's
it's happy.
That's
To
a
be
fucked
honest,
up movie.
I'm gonna say the kids one just because I find that creepier.
It was CG. Now, to be fair, see,
They
there is.
both had creepy CGI.
See, that's the thing is that Jack Frost the Horror Movie didn't. It was all practical effects.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's family movie Jack Frost was almost purely CG.
Big wigs go to hell.
Yeah, no. There was almost no CG at all in the horror movie Jack Frost. They couldn't afford that.
Yeah, most horror movies back in the day couldn't because back in the day horror was an underrated genre where they didn't get that much money.
See, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I can't.
It was all
picture any
practical.
CGI in the Jack Frost horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some horror
Yeah,
movies
no.
where like most of the scenes they take place just in a few spots, like Black Christmas. That was mostly it. Like most of the scenes were in the house,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the house, or at the police station. Just those three areas.
Famously, Alfred Hitchcock, he did like 2 or 3 movies that literally only happen in a single room.
Yeah. The lighthouse. That mostly took place in the fucking lighthouse,
Yeah.
or the area around the lighthouse.
Yeah,
There's a term for that, like a bottle movie or bottle episode of TV shows, the more common trope. Where, like, they only use one room or building. And
yeah.
it not only is it, like, a good way to save money, but it's actually a pretty tricky writing method.
Yeah.
To
Good
actually
way to
use.
save
like-
money, hard writing. Yeah.
Like another good one is the first Saw movie. That movie
Which
mostly
is actually a good movie, unlike the
Yeah.
rest of the Saw franchise.
that mostly just took place in the bathroom. Yeah, there were the background scenes, but the area mostly took place in that bathroom.
That's, like, the only part of the movie worth watching.
Yeah.
That was another one. I was like, that was 2003. I was 14. Like, yeah, Saw 1's good. Saw 2's good.
So back in
I
high
hear
school,
3's good, and everything after that's bad.
we had friends that used to live here, and very good. They were really cool people.
Real quick, Mr. Bishop is adamantly the horror movie goes over on the family film.
But, Dad, you remember we went to Hollywood Video and we rented both of them. I want to say we rented both of them a couple times because we never owned it, and I've seen them several times. But anyway, yeah,
And-
the horror movie over the family one is the fun one.
Yeah, but there was one time where when Redbox was still a thing, so we rented a couple of movies out. My mom, their mom, and a couple adult friends were in the living room watching a movie. We were in my mom's room watching a movie, and we were watching I forgot what Saw one it was, where the chick's hair's being, like, her scalp is being torn off, and, like, there's blood squirting everywhere. I'm just eating a sandwich, and they just paused the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, we have to eat. I'm like, okay, play the movie. And they're like, I can't eat like that. You mean you can't eat with the fake blood being squirted everywhere?
Now,
It's
hold on.
disgusting.
Says this guy who made us watch Terrifier movies.
I didn't see nothing. What did I say anything?
Real quick, I want to say something on the subject of fake blood. I will defend them here. I worked in a haunted house one season, and I can tell you, fake blood is nowhere near as fun as you think it is to work with.
Oh,
Depending on the recipe, because it's either A, it's horribly sticky because it's made of. Basically, there's two schools of thought. Some people will use like molasses or syrup to make the fake blood, and it gets sticky, and you just feel you feel unclean when you have to use that stuff. The other alternative is the makeup synthetic fake blood, which stinks to high heaven, and no matter what the temperature is, it feels cold when it gets on your skin. I hate working with fake blood. We should just use real blood.
Better
Which
than
also-
chocolate syrup?
No, that was a stroke of genius. You could never do that unless you were making a black and white film, but that was still a stroke of genius. But yeah, and the bishop mentioned it. Of course, we have to bring up the belle of the ball, the currently fire hot Terrifier franchise, who for some reason decided to just make a Christmas movie. And then they take the killer clown from that movie and they made a Yule log of him. But the a-holes on various streaming platforms decided to label that as Terrifier 3.
We could say the names. It was Screambox. He signed up for a free trial of Screambox just to see Terrifier 3. And when I saw Art the Clown sit down in like 420p in front of a fire, I was like, I don't remember this in the theaters. Wow, they filmed some extra bonus recordings for the video at home. That's so cool. And then it went on for 15 minutes. I said, hey man, I think there's something wrong.
Yeah. For some reason, Screambox, and they have it on Amazon Prime as well.
It actually worked on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, well, they also have Terrifier 3, but this Yule log of Very Terrifier Christmas, if you search for it on Screambox and Amazon Prime, it will come up Terrifier 3. So, I don't know if that's an intentional joke or what, but yeah, that was my morning, or actually my last night, trying to freaking actually watch Terrifier 3 because it's a Christmas horror movie.
Okay.
And I have to say, Christmas really didn't have to do with the plot. It just
It was
happens.
just a cool set piece.
It just happens during Halloween
And that,
or Christmas, excuse me.
and that's how it should be. It should take Christmas shouldn't be the main thing. It should take part of it.
Like Die Hard.
See,
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Shut up. No. I actually will explain this real quick.
Give me something to throw.
No, I will explain this. No, in terms of the plot and the film itself, Die Hard isn't a Christmas film. However, Die Hard has become part of the Christmas mythos. It is a part of it is a Christmas film because it is part of the mythology and the legend of Christmas itself, which, like all holidays, is constantly growing and changing with every generation. This is actually something that bugs the crap out of me with the holiday season. Yeah, okay, fine. You got a point there, Mr. Bishop. Real blood does tend to smell if you don't wash it quickly. But like for shooting a scene, you can get
You
good.
want to be covered in pig's blood?
How long do I have to be covered in pig's blood?
The whole shift.
Take a while.
I mean, basically, I am. I'm a butcher, and I specifically work with pork and chicken, so I do spend most of my day with pig's blood on me. Actually, yeah. No, Tara brings a fair point. It is a Christmas movie because it has become part of Christmas.
Well, then at that point, fucking Rambo: First Blood should be a fucking Christmas movie too.
Lethal Weapon.
Except
Home Alone.
Home Alone is a great Christmas movie that should be a horror film. No, see that's the thing though. Is people haven't taken in Rambo as part of the Christmas
There's a
mythos.
fucking Christmas tree in the fucking movie.
That's not what makes Die Hard a Christmas movie. It's that it has become incorporated with Christmas.
It's a Christmas miracle. The population believes in its Christmasnosity.
Basically, yes. Because that's what holidays are. It's just a...
The real Christmas was the friends we made along the way.
No, it's the jackass that threw off the fucking roof. I have no idea what the fuck he threw at me, and I can't fucking find it.
I hate being the only sober person here.
I
Anyway.
am not intoxicated at the moment, sir.
Person here.
Anyway. No. See, this is something that... And I'm actually going to wrap this up with a monologue.
And we're not going to talk about Terrifier 3.
We did mention it.
There was a name drop.
See, now there's gonna be a fucking clown that's gonna show up and just gonna fucking murder you.
It's not a clown, it's a mime. It's a mime
He's Art
who
the Clown.
wishes he was a clown.
It's his title. Art the Clown.
Does he ever call himself that? Or does he just get
He
called
writes
that?
it down. Art the Clown. Yeah.
No, he says Art was here.
I think it's...
You know, I mean, if he talked.
Then he wouldn't be a mime.
Exactly.
Anyway, though. No, this is kind of something that bugs the crap out of me. Because around this time of year, you always hear this bullshit about what Christmas is, what Halloween is. And it's like, it's a holiday. It is what people celebrate. Now, once upon a time, yes, there was some Roman or Greek celebration where they honored their deity Saturn, so that'd be Roman because it was planets. Yes, there were... That's the thing that annoys me. Winter is the most miserable time. Everything is frozen or dead. The nights are longer, the days are shorter. Everything is awful. And some people can't seem to grasp the idea, hey, maybe we should do something to cheer up.
Bishop was right. It's just another day.
It's really not. It is special because people make it special.
For me, it was Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
For me, it was Wednesday.
Thank you. Anyway.
For me, it was just a day off of work. It fucked up my entire schedule for the week.
See, I always have Wednesdays off, so.
For me, it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. It is special. Because people...
Jesus. Sean.
I think you should zoom in on the guy talking.
Who's the guy talking?
Anyway. It's special because people made it special. And, again, no one has a monopoly on the idea of trying to be happy in literally the worst time of the year. Okay?
Homework does.
Not their employees.
I said Hallmark.
Not their employees.
Anyway. No one owns this. And yeah, the modern day Christmas that we celebrate, it is kind of a Frankenstein monster that has all kinds of different traditions from all kinds of different cultures. No shit, Sherlock. Christmas is the number one holiday in America. What is America? A melting pot of cultures. Of course, it's going to reflect that. And for the record, to all the smarmy people who think they're so smart because they know the name Festivus, you're not special, dude. Like, literally, we've all heard that story 10 times over. I'm trying desperately to ignore all three of them. Anyway.
I'm not doing anything.
He's abusing her to do.
Give her my friend.
Give her to me.
No.
Throw her.
No.
Not me. You're abusing her.
I won't.
Anyway.
It's worse than you.
I throw her.
I think he's talking in reference to hijacking the show. But anyhow. Yeah, no. No one has a copyright on this. Everyone had some kind of winter festival holiday thing. Because everybody was miserable. And so, population leaders kind of sort of had this idea, maybe we should have a reason to be happy? I mean, has anyone noticed what December is?
A spike on the end
Yeah.
description.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Jesus just like dropped.
I didn't drop shit. I put it on the table. I flipped that shit and then laid it on the table just like that without making a sound. That's how good I am.
Are you abusing Roaster?
No. I'm gonna kill you.
You know, there are times I sincerely think that this was a bad idea. Anyway, though. But yeah, no. To everybody who has just to be a Scrooge and a Grinch and complain about some other culture, yeah, put your damn hand down. We all know. Anyway, you're not clever. You're not funny. Okay? And again, we've already heard 1,000 times over how X stole this holiday from Y and blah, blah, blah. Look. What the hell was that?
It's Santa Claus.
It's the clown. He heard you talking shit. He's on his way.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I need to get the fuck out of here.
Well?
He's one of those guys in the hallway who lives next door to us who apparently is popping the door.
Anyway, though. But, yeah, no, have some fun. Watch god-awful movies that live and die by having a single hilarious line. Watch a kid's movie about a magical snowman and a murderous snowman. Hell, there you go. Watch them back to back.
You could also watch good movies.
Oh my god.
This is always within your grasp.
The kids' movie's the first one. He does whatever he needs to. And then somehow he's able to come back to life, but he did all that stuff, so he goes somewhere else. But when he comes back, his mind gets all warpy and goes off serial killer. And then he becomes a fucking snowman again, and he's super fucking pissed. So instead of helping this time, he just goes off the deep end and goes on a murder spree.
Yeah.
There, we got our trilogy.
There you go. God, make it an actual trilogy.
Or should the horror movie come first, and then after the horror movie villain dies, he comes back to life, and then he pretends to be the kid's father to fuck with them.
After Hawaii or before Hawaii?
Before Hawaii. And then he goes to Hawaii as a little treat.
And just kills everybody there.
Yeah. But he pretends
Because
to
no
be
one's
their
going to
dad.
believe them, because, like, why would there be a snowman in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Anyway, though.
It's Santa Claus.
Next.
Christ.
Cthulhu. Anyway, though. Yeah, so next week is New Year's.
Won't be New Year's. It's going to be 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's going to be an old man next year.
Wait, how old are you?
Old man.
22.
Don't you just hate him?
Old! Point at the old man.
What's this guy's problem?
That would be the one next to him. Other way.
Old.
Other way.
Old.
Other way. It's the one with the hat.
Old!
I'm like 10 years older than you. Holy shit.
Younger, you mean?
So, yeah, next week we're going to be celebrating New Year's by following a proud tradition of celebrating the beginning of a new year by talking about the dead year. That's right. Brace yourselves. Next week is going to be another show about dead things. But until then, boys and girls, I have been your host, Kristoff N. Chester. This is my little brother, Sean Lee Chester. Over there, off screen, where he belongs, basically, is Jesus.
Fuck
And
you
of cour-
on the face of your face.
Oh. Can you say
Of course,
that?
the bishop in the corner there.
Yeah, hi.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And as always,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Merry
Happy
Crimbo.
Hanukkah.
Happy Crimbo.
Happy
Oh, my
Kwanzaa Day.
dad. Young guy. Oh, yeah, you're a young guy. Oh,
I'm the
yeah.
young guy.
Hey, all that means is a toga party.
You're 21. You're an old man.
I don't think that's true.
Or you're 22. You're an old man.
Next year, in 6 months.
Do you know how old that is?
No. I can't count or read.
Keep checking the shadows, everyone.
Happy Crimbo. What?
Yes! That was fucking great!
I hit the wrong thing.
You don't say!
That was nice!
Was that Bill Gates?
No! Who was that?
Who was it? Who was it, Bear?
Oh, no, I hit the wrong picture.